cheers to tears in an instant.
In a split second, it's all ruined.
Shooters' actions send hundreds of thousands of people running for cover just after the Chiefs' victory rally. This morning, we're learning new details about the act of bravery that stopped a suspect.
I didn't hesitate. It was just do it. So I went to go tackle him, and another gentleman did the same thing.
Help needed, a plea from the FBI and KCPD to anyone who was down near Union Station yesterday, why they need your assistance to understand what happened.
And mourning the loss, we'll bring you new details about the woman killed in the violence and talk live with a local leader who knew her, who hid for cover with his daughter for hours. We'll hear his story and what he wants done to put an end to Kansas City's streak of gun violence. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Cody Holyoke. Confetti traded for bullets. One woman is dead, 21 others were shot, and many more were hurt during a day of celebration. KMBC 9 News is here to help you process what happened at the Chiefs rally as this hurting community of ours works to get answers. We're on top of the story with team coverage. We go first to Donna Pittman live at Union Station where this terrible event took place. And Donna, this is just a gut punch to our community.
That it really is, Cody, and one we didn't see coming, and goodness knows that we have reported on gun violence way too many times in other communities. In our own community, we know that it's been an issue, but to have what happened here yesterday, it really was a shock, a mass shooting at an event where so many people were coming together and so happy. And then when you hear that number 11 and children, yeah. Let's talk about what we have talked about before. We know that one woman has lost her life. We have learned that she is a mother of two. 21 other people are hurt this morning. The Kansas City Fire Department says that 8 of those people hurt had life-threatening injuries that required immediate medical attention. Now, the shots started just after the rally ended, so just before 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon on the west side of Union Station. Of course, so many people still here. Now, police have detained 3 people. Detectives say that they're have no idea what the motive was at this time. They're working to find that out. In the meantime, officers are asking that anyone has any information or any video, even if you may not think that it would be significant or helpful, they want to see that. The incident number to call, they have a phone number that's dedicated to this investigation. So some fans that we talked to say that regardless, they don't feel safe going to future parades.
I'm absolutely terrified right now. And honestly, I don't think I could handle going back to another parade for this. It's not worth my daughter's life.
Now, again, we've been able to confirm the identity of the woman who was shot and killed here yesterday. We know that she has 2 children. Their ages, I'm not sure. We're hearing they could be older, maybe adults, but it does not matter. She is a mother of 2, a Kansas City radio station DJ. She hosted the show that's called A Taste of Tejano on KKFI 90.1. Lee Summit's Mayor Bill Barrett says that Lopez is the sister of Lee Summit's Mayor Pro Tem Beto Lopez. Now, in a statement posted to social media, Mayor Baird wrote in part that this is truly heartbreaking. It's an absolute tragedy, and says that 2 of Mayor Pro Tem's nieces and nephew were also hurt. Now, he goes on to encourage the community to pray for the Lopez family. And in a post confirming Lopez's death by her co-workers, KKFI wrote, "This senseless act has taken a beautiful person from her community and this KC community." Now, the station is encouraging witnesses to reach out to police to help investigators. And again, that is what so many law enforcement officers are asking as well this morning. Now, it seems that one of the people who officers detained after the shooting was taken into custody, and that's all thanks to people who were actually attending the rally. Video sent to us shows the aftermath of that. Police have somebody surrounded on the ground at one point. People nearby tell officers that they tackled him. We've also found some other video this morning, thanks to our viewers, that shows bystanders taking action from different angles. One angle in particular shows things more clearly. Let's go to KMBC 9's Morgan Mobley, who is live this morning on the other side of Union Station with that. Hi, Morgan.
Always look for the helpers. Those are words that have been ringing in my ears since this happened yesterday. There were heroes here, and we want to talk about them too. As gunshots rang out, parade goers started scattering, but some jumped into action. Video sent to us by a viewer shows the aftermath. This is right in front of Union Station, where you can see a group of people start chasing someone. They eventually catch up, tackling the person to the ground. 2 people in this crowd are from Omaha, and we're hearing from them about the decision to take action.
I didn't hesitate. It was just do it. So I went to go tackle him, and another gentleman did the same thing. And as I'm tackling him, I see his weapon either fall out of his hand or out of his sleeve, because he was wearing a long jacket, or like a Carhartt. So when I seen that hit the ground, I'm like, oh, you know, we got to take this guy down.
Contreras says he knew he could not let that man go. Thank goodness for people like him. Reporting live in Kansas City, Morgan Mobley, KMBC 9 News.
You know, Morgan, thank you. We never know, right, when we're going to be called on, and we all hope that we would act as he did. We have received, as we said, several videos, thanks to you, our viewers. I want to show you this one. This video taken by Lisa Felder. It shows people who were hiding in a room inside Union Station. You can see them barricading a door with chairs and racks. By the way, Union Station is closed today. This is still a crime scene. Matter of fact, behind us, that's what you're hearing and seeing a little bit of when you see the police lights. They're just letting people know that not only is Union Station closed, but again, the investigation is still on, and this is a crime scene. The FBI is helping police right now try to figure out not only a motive for this, but make sure that they know everyone who was involved and behind this shooting. Let's go to KMBC 9's Martin Augustine, downtown Kansas City, with this part of the story. Martin.
Yeah, good morning, Donna. We're coming to you from Kansas City Police Headquarters. Detectives here are working with the FBI to try and find more video of the shooting and its aftermath. The thought here is that even in the chaotic minutes after the gunfire, there are still many more people who have cell phone video of what happened than what investigators have already collected. So the KCPD and the FBI have created an online form, you see there on the right of your screen, that you may use to upload your video to them. As in most investigations, even if you're not sure about your tip, or in this case, your video, if it means anything, it might have a clue in it, helping explain what detectives and agents are seeing in other pieces of video. Now, we have a link to that online form on our website right now, KMBC.com. I've also posted a link to it on my X page. That's the social media platform formerly known as Twitter. Reporting live, Martin Augustine, KMBC 9.
Martin, thank you for all of that and sharing all of that as we begin a day. You know, we're out here outside of Union Station, and life does go on. People are going to work, and as the day begins, it's just hard to believe that not even 24 hours ago we began with such optimism and such lightness in our hearts and in our souls. And Cody, I couldn't. Last night, I worked on Valentine's boxes with 2 of my kids. And you talk about 11 children who are at Children's Mercy Hospital right now. And thank goodness we're hearing that they are going to recover. That's physically, and I don't know exactly what that looks like. These children are going to be living with the emotions of this forever. These 11 kids should have been working on their Valentine's boxes last night. They should have been talking about what a fun day they had.
They should have been
this
in school
hitting home
today.
Hits different.
Right. Instead, someone took that from them.
And their classmates are missing them. So, of course, we know that these things happen, but it hits home. It hits different. It hits kids. It hits hard.
It does, and we are with them and with their families and with all of the other kids, their friends, and even kids who are watching on television too.
Absolutely.
And have to process this grief. Donna, thank you. We'll check back in just a bit. We know that the Kansas City Chiefs are responding to Union Station's shooting on social media, writing that we are truly saddened by this senseless act of violence that occurred outside of Union Station at the conclusion of the parade and rally. Went on to write, our hearts go out to the victims, their families, and all of Kansas City. They confirmed no Chiefs players or family members of the Chiefs players were injured. Players, though, are reacting to the shooting directly, and they were just leaving the stage yesterday, Jamie Weiss, when this happened here. We know you're watching this part of the story, but again, we have to stress here, there's another layer to this because everyone was there to celebrate their victory. They were there because of them.
Right, and at this point, most Chiefs have responded to the incident on social media. We'll start with quarterback Patrick Mahomes. He called for prayers in the wake of this shooting. Safety Justin Reed also shared his thoughts online, writing on Twitter, quote, "This is sad, man. Kids are being shot and someone didn't come home tonight. We cannot allow this to be normal. We cannot allow ourselves to become numb and chalk it up to just another shooting in America and reduce people in statistics, then move on tomorrow." Adding, quote, "This is a serious problem. I pray our leaders enact real solutions so our kids' won't know this violence." Lineman Trey Smith shared his thoughts with Good Morning America.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty angry because it's senseless violence. You know, someone lost their life today. You have children that are injured. You have children that are traumatized, and you know, I'm hurting for the families and the people who got impacted. The city of Kansas City, this community. It's a great community.
And I think one thing that so many of us are thinking about is the high to the low. Trey Smith in particular, I was out covering the parade yesterday. I saw him, I talked to him for a few minutes yesterday, and he was so happy. There were so many fans around him, so happy, and just to go from that to where we are this morning is just gut-wrenching. There's no other word for it.
The height of joy to just this valley of despair and hurt and anguish. We're going to get through it, but it's going to take a while. Jamie, thank you. And we know this is difficult for everyone. We're also coming to grips with what happened. We know mental health workers in Jackson County want to help those who need someone to talk to, and that's, well, face it, pretty much everyone right now. Counselors and social workers will be available at United Church of Christ on 65th Street in Brookside from 11 to 2 today. No questions asked. You can go in and speak with those counselors for free.